I'll answer that with another question. I'm answering. Yes. I'm answering. Answer your question, I'll give you another. I'll answer the second, and I'll ask another question. By giving the answer there, we'll give the answer. This why there the no is not detention? Because it's attached to a mice. The answer me. The go and speak. But in the ilchos of Kinyoni, a person can obligate himself to an action. The schayus obligation be through a star, through schayus, you're renting my body to dance. What? What says? Oh. She went ahead. Why she went ahead? Very strange enough. Let's see how. Let's see how. Rashi says, Bodam Choshu, I'm reading Rashi says, Bodam Choshu, Askidon, Sheinologi lekabel matono. כן.
לא אומר בהנאה.
אבל הוא מסביר, כי לא ידעו מה רוב ואמר. אחרי שהפופ אמר על דברי רוב המקודשת. דורות אחר כך הגיע מר זוטרו לרבש. ומר זוטרו הסביר מה הפופ ורוב התכוונו. כן, רש"י לא הסביר את זה בהתחלה. רוב שאל בוי. Well, there's a question. He get an answer. We don't know what he's talking about. Now, Papa said, "I'm going to the Kodesh," but we don't know what he's talking about. But we thought, she thought that Papa only on one case. I got. So Mazur says, "No. All I want to talk about, I know, Adam Koshu." So Rashi didn't write the beginning because he's talking about Rov. Rov didn't explain himself. Only Mazur explained Rov. Kapish. So therefore, let's go back. Let's see how Malchut explained over Yiskin of Joshua. Let's see the Rashi. Rashi says, we deal with a court person and what? The Bichok, it's not custom, it's not regular, it's not Muga, it's not custom. The Kabbalah Matonos to receive gifts. Rashi continues. That this woman will want. לתת פרוטו לאודום, to give פרוטו to a man, שיפייסנו הזה, will walk to him in a piece. לקבל ממנו מדעתו to receive from רמתו. So Rashi had to attach the ano, attach the floating ano to a mice. Where's the mice of the husband? Other it's her mice. There's no. My agreeing to receive, which I'm not a guy that is constantly to agree, that's a mice that is worth pruto. And then, so when she jumped away, he didn't say the pleasure that the other person is enjoying and receiving, she received. Now she didn't say that. Now she says the pa'ula, that I don't regularly accept the gifts. And my agreement to accept gifts, that pa'ula, that action, the pa'ula of people is speaking. And people pay for that because I'm not allowed. You have to pay a puta for that to the fire seat. So there's a mice towards her. There's not a mice from her to me, and I'm giving trying to her. There's a virtual honor. You cannot detach it from a mice. There is a mice. Since I'm not accepting it, and she should teach us all. This woman who wants to pay puta, this one to please me. So my agreement, it's a mice that is worth a puta, and therefore. I'm giving up the pruta, my agreement. So it's attached to my agreement as a mice. And I'm Messiah. I want you to Messiah Kiddushi with my agreement that you would pay money for it to make the agreement. Yes. Always testing. Follow you. Now 1 second. Yes. Yes. What's the Kiddush? According to Rashi, tell you what's the Kiddush. Because normally, no, I'm straight to you. Tell you what's the Kiddush. Normally, when somebody gives me a gift and I receive, I'm just a receiver. The actor is the one who gave it. That's the big act. I'm just a receiver. So I complete the act. I'm not an act on my own. Rashi have to create an act on my own that I'm not a regular to accept my dollars. So although the normal definition of not Odom Choshu, as the Maggid says, or the Taz says, without Odom Choshu, I'll definitely define the Maise as a Maise of he's giving me and I'm receiving. Receiving means for my benefit, not for her benefit.
Also for her.
That also is a pure hand.
No, because
It's only I define only to him. More than that, the Taz says that even though I don't say that Maise says towards her. Only when she's running after him, she says, you know, come on, the Mekadosh means you see that she's running after the Talmud Chacham, after Bibi, and now you see her running and wanting it. I mean, she showed, which means the Taz added here, and that's really the answer. That's the fact that Taz added this had a problem. You can say it could be that although the Taz added it, the Rashi did say it, maybe Rashi didn't say it, but still we consider that the Kiddush is that although, what's the problem? The problem is, that as the Taz defines, the norm of the Taz, which is printed in Amud Beis, I hope you guys learned it, Amud Stein. The Taz says that the normal way to define the mindset is the Torah soil. When a woman gives me a gift, it's for me or for her, how do I define that mice? You. For me. And you think to you, it's in your head, it's nothing to do with me. In order to translate that, I'm not ready to accept matzorah. In my agreement, that's my mindset to you. I know. You have to, the Rata says, you have to add that she's running and she's valuing Tamil Chachomim. She's valuing me, that she's sure that I'm Odom Choshu for her. It's not an imagination. So that's a Kiddush. To say that I turn out the mindset, the normal format of a mindset of her giving me, what do you mean? If we start learning this, teach Odom Choshu, I'll tell you, listen, when I get Odom Choshu, I'm giving you Simon, that's a mindset to me. Come on. He gave the Choshu money. Okay, maybe got a spin over feeling good. Is that a mindset? So I know that I spin over that I get along, but it's my mindset. I gave it. He gave me a gift, and he turned the whole story around. It's a Kiddush. To say there's a mindset that, according to Rashi, that there's a mindset here, and Rashi had a problem, is gets small. So you have to add that it's not a vogue, it's not constant, except Matomer. And Shetirtza Zoy says, aside of this specific woman, she would want to spend money or put her to appease me, which means an act. So then it makes it an act of receiving that he's giving, it's an act of giving. And that all turn away to make it as an act, although it's just receiving is fast. And she put it in my hand. Okay, I agreed to put it in my hand, I can throw it out. And therefore, and not only that, you can say it's also, but it's not a mindset, the kiddushin of kicha that he's going. Maybe she's a two shoot off the kicha or shoot off ikoni. She's a main shoot off. And therefore, that Kika is to be that he's taking. And she's minor. Here, you're taking her mindset Kika, that he's taking her, and now you turn it over. He's the Kika, he's on his own, we don't care about her. That's the Kika, so I won't take it over.
Now you see that she's God.
Yes, I'm the rule. She's buying him or he's buying her. If you start your life like that, be trouble. But then your wife will think she's the boss. She bought you and say, "Better that." The whole idea is that you buying it, that's a format. Changing your mind that she's buying it, because he agreed, so then he's buying her. He's buying her, man. He's buying over, who says, "Lord,
Yes. And she said, take a gift.
Yeah, but you know what we need, question what we have. And I see from her giving to him a mindset that he's the man, he's taking her, what I know. Not minded to her, or I have to erase her. She's minded to me. It's a big I didn't say that. Now she wants to attach, and I know it's what I mindset, and that's how we solve the problem. Let's see how the Rambam now solves the problem.
The sugya that in the case of land, you can acquire land, and also the
Yes, land also, yes.
And also that is in the land,
yes.
Only with two parts, like unilateral. Like, and in this case, like the woman give the gift to the Aram Hashub, and Aram Hashub can say, I don't need your gift because I don't need nothing.
Right.
As because the Aram Hashub accept the gift because he accept the gift as he gave honor to the woman.
I'm gonna ask you, Yochis. Listen, kid.
Because that is
That's an important person and a simple.
Yeah.
To be true to yourself. Who's giving? Who's the main giver? She's the main giver or he's the main giver?
First of all, we learn.
I'm on second now.
No.
Tell me the final end. Think before you speak.
Okay.
I asked you a question. What's my question?
Question is who gives to who?
No. Who's the main giver? Is?
The main giver is the woman.
I know. And if that doesn't work for people, she has to be the main giver. So that's the kid to say that he's the giver. And I changed the formula of her giving. Give her is a mind the book. Such a word.
Adam, she thinks by a gift from this person.
Yeah, but it's all good. It's all good. But in the rules of Kiddushin, the rules of a kinyan, the koyo ya. Yes, the Kiddushin. 1 second, Rabbi, somebody else, he was waiting for me. Shh. Give honor to the other rabbis that want yes. Yes.
Right. Shochan. Giving him shochan. His Mishana is das. She's the one who's doing it.
She has to do so. So the koyo, who said the word? We go with a simple question. Okay, you solve the problem of a mindset that is attached, but who's doing it? The main kinyan is him. But who says it works?
No, the kinyan are doing the same.
To say that all of my question is the main mindset.
No,
Don't say that. Yes, that is against a simple small. Yes, yes, okay.
It comes to her with money. It's just wants money. I don't want your money. Doesn't make me happy. I like my simple life. I don't want your money.
Okay,
Now they have to figure out a way to give her something.
good.
So he says, give me, I gotta give him something. She says, oh, I know you don't take gifts, like Russia says.
Right.
You take gifts, so he's giving her a piece of him.
I agree on that. But then I want to answer the question that Rabbi Reuven asked. Rabbi Socher earlier asked, and I asked at the beginning. What's the Kiddush? And not only that, the what's the Yamah? So he says attached to a mindset. What's a Kiddush? What's a Kiddush? Because according to Rashi, to define exactly, not the to define that as Natan Hu, Roma Hu, that's a very big chunk. Very big Kiddush.
But we
I
already
would say that
know
also.
that Kenyan Kedushin is different than Kenyan Kesef.
It's true.
So now you have a different.
It's more than that. And plus, you need to give in Kiddushin, and more you need him. The say that in Kiddushin, maybe make money. But in Kiddushin, that he needs to make him, Vale mainly him. That's a form that he's taking her, not her him, and not her him. So it's worse. So how does it work? You know, maybe all of a sudden it wasn't the base word by Kiddushin. Maybe by making it was simple then. It's not clear what the was so. But definitely it's a big Kiddush to us. Definitely in Kiddushin. Yes, Rabbi. The Shmuel.
What's bigger on that? Spiritual?
So the Rambam, the book says spiritual anos of the physical world. The spiritual, physical are the biggest anos of the world. Sure, that's the answer. Yes, that's the answer. That's the reason I brought that's the reason I brought them all in. That I know that I understand the final end of Mazvut of Papa is that the spiritual ano, if I put who's the main, one who gave money, the one who got spiritual ano, received ano, people go crazy and work for years, do many things, and lose a lot of money for what? Be honored by the president, be sitting there, you have a name on the wall, who knows what, that would give them the ano, they do everything. That's great. When you give a rich guy that cover, I remember one time was a guy needed, my father wanted, he should give money to the yeshiva. So he asked me to organize a yoltzai for this guy's father. And he came to yeshiva. There's no boys. Everybody was sleeping away. It was one day after a trip or something. Everybody said, half asleep, I can't collect the boys. I barely collect 5, 6, 10 boys here. No, Shiva comes in, brings the guy, and his barely boys giving him a cover, and the guy didn't give the money. Father says, you're like, oh. He says, you didn't give him enough cover. The enough cover means wasn't worth the price of the check. The cover. I'm gonna look over comes loss. Money. Kavod is it. She wants kavod, and definitely if she gets away kavod, it's worth her all the money. People can give away all the money just for that kavod. But really, it's good. The Rambam says it's a good meter. But the bad meter is that we do the cover of Nodam. They get the cover of Hashem. people in front of our mind that will give charity is not for our name in the yeshiva's building that I donated money. It's not that. It's in front of Hashem. Hashem will honor you next world. Be Rotzoy in front of Hashem. Rotzoy, the Rotzon Hashem, right? We bring Korbanos LeRotzon Hashem to be Rotzon Hashem. That's really what people talk. You make sofa come. Soap, and then you get the physical. That's the man. Yes. So the answer to this, we brought the question. We understand Rava, and we also understand Rapapa. Why Rapapa final end was that the spiritual know is greater. Actually, we said Rashi is him agreeing, and people him agreeing, not a skamat kabbalah, agreeing to receive. You pay money for that action. Now, yes. In the world of Kicha, I define the physical act or her act. That's just something.
That's win-win, huh?
Win-win.
That's win-win. Win in this world, but first have to have the abundance of wheat in the world to come. And then a God will never mind about what you now. There's immediate gratification.
By Yoshua, it's a lifetime.
On a slide.
It's a lifetime work. Right? A lifetime work. But when we get there, we're on the road. Let's go back here. Let's see the Rambam. Amazing Rambam. I'm reading the Rambam. It's brought down on page 1 the Rambam. Rambam says, Omroloi, second line in the Rambam. Omroloi, you see Rambam in Chesishus Perikel Alokha base, the first page, second line. Omroloi, she told it. Yes, we explained. Because in the physical terms, she gave him, not he didn't give her. It's her mice. And definitely Kedushin is wrong. She needs to be Ika. Spiritual, we said she got back more.
So when the Torah says Kikaki Shisha is spiritual, it's talking about.
Yes, the spiritual amoris, yes.
But it's talking about the Chokim Ba'aretz.
I explained, I said it's not spiritual, it's spiritual, physical. Avod is spiritual, but it's physical. Kas, Galilee, common, all those things, a spiritual amoris, but a physical.
Rabbi Rashi,
Yes.
בכל דף זן, לא מדבר על הנועה. בכל דף זן.
Right. אבל רש"י אומר, נכון.
על המילווה, רש"י.
לא מילווה, לא פרוטו.
רש"י בעמוד ב', כן מדבר על אני מקודש בהנאה זה. רש"י עושה דקדוק גדול על המילים של זה.
היא ההנאות של פינס.
כן, אבל בזן על הנועה.
למה הוא מדבר?
על הכינים, על הכסף, על המשהו מתכנס עם משהו שיוצא.
לא אמר.
לא, בראשון, תן מנה, לא לי מקרה שאני לא.
כן, נכון, הוא לא אמר הנועה. נכון, אבל פה כן. אבל פה הוא מדבר על הנועה.
יש פה, יש כסף שיוצא, כסף ייכנס, יש קניין, יש לבבים שאני רואה, לבבים שיש value. הנאה שקודם היה המובע.
I explain to you why, אני אגיד לך מה הסיבה. Be'orei, when she says, you give somebody else, so then you can say, here's my shliach. Him, when a woman is giving him, he can't say that it really is the husband money, and he's a shliach of her to do what? To give to himself? You can't say that. Therefore, we have to say that I attach it to a maisa of, and I cannot attach to her maisa. Because if I say to her maisa, that really her maisa is money somehow before the maisa. And therefore he's giving her back, and she's a shliach to give him. That, no, you cannot do something before when it's only after. So the only way to put it before at the same time is the anos kabbalah. אבל הבנת what זה? אתה מבין את ההבדל באורל.
כסף כמו שייכנס על האישה, כמו ככה.
ככה, זה רק באורל, פה אי אפשר, כי פה זה אחרי, אתה רוצה זה לפני.
אבל פה נתינה, החזרון יוצא מאישה, לא יוצא מהבא.
נכון, אז אי אפשר להגיד שהיא שליחה שלו לתת לו. כי כדי שתהיה השליחה שלו, צריך קודם כל לקבל, ואז הוא כאילו מחזיר לה, ואז הוא מקבל מעצמו. זה לא עובד. הבנת, לכן צריך להגיע לענות של פרוטו, של הרצון לקבל, הסכמה לקבל. Yes, זה הכיחה. Let's see the Rambam. Guys, let's see the Rambam. Oh, the Rambam says, second line, you see the Rambam here on page 1, Diaspora Yeshiva papers. Like spend time and money to build those papers. So don't lose them. Take value.
Name on it.
Right, exactly. Put aside. Yes.
Costs a lot of money.
It did. I pay someone. Money. Pay good money. Someone to set it up. Tell them what to put, how to put. I'll put the control here. I give them direction. But somebody has to physically print it out, put it together, put side notes. Takes time. Takes sometimes 2-3 days, a full day, so something. So it's money.
The
You have to hire a person. And the paper is worth money, right? And the words and the wisdom in it. Good. She told him, here's 100 Jews for a gift with Kaddish Lecho on a marriage. The Lord court, you receipt. The Omar only told. You are married to me, but knows with the pleasure, this pleasure, that I received gift from you. So Rashi, the Rambam didn't define it. You look at Rashi, and another line and a half he defines. If he's an important person, why? Why?
For the honor and the.
Do you have papers?
Oh,
That's Chabad, tell me. Here. The papers with Rabbi Yitzchak, Ibn Yitzchak. On the first page, on the first page. It's Chabad. So I'm looking at him, he's listening to me all the time. With his eyes on the paper. Oh, I should have the paper. Good. So now we're reading in the fourth line of the Rambam. Okay, you see the first page Rambam? The fourth line, and I paragraph fourth line. She has pleasure. From he's being and pleasuring from her. Pleasuring from her, she acquire herself to him.
yeah.
Oh. What? She acquire herself to him. Okay. Well, according to the Rambam is not saying that she will appease, I'm not accepting gift, and she would pay someone to appease me to agree. It's not money on my agreement to receive. It's spiritual honor. She enjoyed because I enjoyed her. So there's a feeling I felt I received. Rashi says, so you're going to be pleasure because of me. That pleasure that you're going to have because of me, that's my pleasure. So that's pleasure. It's detached. Like we started talking, like Bill said, it's a detached. It's a spiritual thing where you can touch it. Well, how's your word? As someone says, where's the micing? How about you're right? The cause of all action, it's I know. So we don't have a problem. I know it's definitely like speakers against it. It's it. It's it. I know it's it. Right? Oh, but it's only passive. There's no action to it. So how can you an acquisition of money and acquisition definitely not eat? As a thing, where's the thing? So that's the cash that we have on the. So to answer the Rambam, we have to go into the machloikis between Rabbeinu Hanan and Rash go against it. Sorry. Yes. Rabbeinu Hanan and Rash go against the Rambam. It's printed here in the papers and page 3. Look inside, please. I'm going to read the Rashba on the top of the page. The name of the Rashba is on page 2 in the bottom. But the next page, they didn't put it together the same page. But it's in top of the page. Eat Barlamich and the Rob is really the Rashba. So I'm reading now the Rashba. You go 4 lines down. The Rabbeinu Hanan El Zal. 4 lines down in page 3.
Is there some reason why she didn't go to the Rashbam and the Hashmatot, printed on the back of the page, like the Mon McCormick says, where you didn't read the Hashmatot?
We were trying to
At the top of the second page on the back, there's a little italic sentence below the first 2 lines, and it says, I am taking the Divrei Harash. Why didn't you go there if that's what you printed?
Because in order to know the Rashba, in Tshuva, you have to know the Rashba is Chidushim. Then you understand what the Rashba and Tshuva is saying. And the Rashba and the Chidushim speak too many words, a lot of words, and he says clearly what he means. You have to know, you have to submit yourself to his words and to give an explanation to his words, and understanding, and this will sound the whole story. Okay? This was how there's two major lines here to explain the sugya of Adam Choshev. So let's see Rabbeinu Hanan. Rabbeinu Hanan says a statement, the Ramban attacks him, and Rashba agrees to Rabbeinu Hanan, but he says 2.5 lines to explain it. In those 2.5 lines, which made it black and big, he says everything. Just give me the time, Bezrat Hashem, to sell the time, and 20 minutes we'll get it through. Then we're ready for the Musaf. The Rabbeinu Hanan, Kosmo, Rabbeinu Hanan wrote this law of Adam Choshev. Rabbeinu Hanan wrote like this: the woman gives her husband money, says, "Here's 100 zuz and marry me." So the Rabbeinu Hanan adds, "The Omar lay that also works when the seller tells the buyer, take 100 zuz, and my assets will be acquired to you. Not as a agav. Rather, the seller gives the buyer, you import the merchant, you import, here's money and I'm selling you my house." What a great deal. Somebody got to you, yeah, I want to give you a house, a gift, and here's my money. When you receive my house, acquired to you. So the Choshev, oh, not because I gave you money.
Like the same action.
According to some opinion, who gives the kli, yes. One second, we'll get to it. Very good. This is really the core story. One second.
Is attached.
Sorry, I didn't finish it. One more words. I jumped the line. The Omar. Say again. He gave him money and he says, "I want to sell you my asset for them." The Omar and the seller that gave the money to the buyer, which is an important person. Omar, and he said, that pleasure, Hashivo Kekli. It's like a vessel of Chalipi. That the buyer gives the seller. So when the buyer gave 100 zuz to the buyer is giving him back that pleasure, a kli. Kli. Where's the kli? It's pleasure. That I know is Hashivo Kekli. Hashivo Kekli, I value as a vessel. That the buyer shifts back, bounces back, spins back, so then the buyer acquires the seller's assets. Here concludes the Rashi. According to him, Rabbeinu Hanan he defined Ano as a kli. So not only by land that you can buy only with money, or you can buy land, you can buy with money or chalipi. But movable things you can only buy with chalipi. You cannot buy with money. Because otherwise you're saying this, your heating was burned in it. And if somebody gives me money, and then before he pulled the object, I can say it's not responsibility of me. Something happens, it's your responsibility. So you need a time stamp that the object goes to him. So by chalipi it works. So then let me finish, please. So the Ramban says, the Rabbeinu Hanan said, and the Rashba explains the Rabbeinu Hanan that I can define when the seller is giving money to the buyer, the fact the buyer received it, he's giving back Hano. That Hano I consider as Chalipi, and it works by Kalka, and even by the Tatari, the Yoni in Kesed Azom.
That's why it's Rashi.
Before, once you're really jumping to the conclusion, first we'll go to the understanding, then we'll go back to Rashi. Because of the Ramban, the Ramban was still alive. He says Hashem should guard his soul. The merciful one should guard it and guard it. Be safe. Comes the Ramban says, I don't see this sug your zeiche. You know what zeiche? Even a remnants, some nothing, no zeiche, nothing. Lekli. Nothing to talk about kli, talk about no. There's no any word in the sukkah about vessel chalipi. Let me finish. The kesef shekoni b'isha v'karka, it's only money that you buy by a woman and land. Shve kesef too, or no. And karka by one, who took out Khalifi in Crete? Comes the last after I finish the last, talk about what you want. Now I'm reading the two lines of the Rashba, the two full lines, which is one line full, two half lines of the Rashba, which is big. See, it's big. We made it big in order that the secrets are here in this Rashba. Comes the Rashba and he says, I didn't go down, that I can't understand the depths of the understanding of the Ramban. The Ramban was the oldest rabbi in the generation. The Rashba actually also was like a student there. He said, I don't understand this amazing rabbi, the Ramban's das. I don't know what he's saying. Why not? The kush is on this question.
למה זה לא כמו חוב? ואיש חשוב קיבל כסף, עכשיו הוא יש לו חוב.
נו, בסדר, חוב, נו.
לא, היא עכשיו...
חוב זה כסף.
כן.
זה שווה כסף, לא חליפי ולא כלי.
לא, אבל עכשיו היא, יש לה קניין.
מצוין, אבל כסף, אבל לא מטלטלים. הרב אומר, רבינו חנן says, that I can turn it to a kli and it works even by metaltal. If you're right, chov can be money, that's okay. But it's not kli.
Yeah.
The Rabbeinu Hanan, which just has a Kabbalah from the Goyini, from the genius. He said, like the Goyini, he says, Ana, I do slash, shaveh, equal. You learn mathematics. Ana, pleasure, equal.
Me.
Sleepy.
No,
Comes the Ramban says, you mentioned even in money.
symbolic and halifi.
No symbolic.
Yeah.
No symbolic is key. No symbolic. Let's see. The Rashba speaks himself. After the Rashba speaks, he can say all what you want. I'm happy with your excitement, but let's submit ourselves to the words of the Rashba. The Atu, the Isha, the Karka, Anozu Kesef Amashu. The Ramban point was, since we see Anos Adam Choshu works by Karka, and by Isha must be a Kesef. That's the Khalif. He says, even Kesef is the same. So the first point of the Rashba says, Anos is not Kesef. Wait a second, why not? Shveh Kesef get Kesef. Anos let it be in the same category, Shveh Kesef, which is Kesef. He says, no. There is Kesef and there's Shveh Kesef, which are tangible. Anos is not Kesef, and also is not Shveh Kesef. Whoa! The Ramban said, you mean, I want to talk about Kesef, I know it's Kesef. And it works by Kiddushin, by God, it's Kesef. Comes the Rash says, no, I know it's not Kesef. So what is it? Let's. Amor Yeshka, Kesef, pleasure. I don't have money. What do I have? Not clean. No, he doesn't say. Amor is not clean. You're not going to form and transfer spiritual to physical. No. Listen, he has a better way to solve this. You have to listen. One thing you have to do, you have to submit yourself to what they say, and then you say what you want. Hello, Raga. Taram, taram. Hello, kedelekayem kabonasamakne v'daitoi. The pleasures there to fulfill the intention and the knowledge of the seller. Anuloim, we, who's we, the Paisley? Anuloim, we see. And also its pleasure, ki'ilu yesh lo mamash. As if it's from tangible to not tangible to tangible. Mamash. Why she's kind diaper that his knowledge will be established? You got the Isha I guess the point that if I buy a woman that money acquired, that's the physical. And the boy must look at I see it like money. Kabbalah says he's gonna her receiving, she got it with the money. But if it's movable thing that money is not doesn't work. So then what? So that I see from detachable to tangible according to what I need. The kid of a Khalif and you receive this Khalif. He can bend the Kaka, then the Tati needed the Kaki, Kedive Rabbeinu Hanan El. When he says, no, you're mistaken. I know it's not Kesef, and I know it's not Shove Kesef. I know It's only there to make the gmius das of the kavan and the das of the mekayim. That was a gmius. That is to establish, to go to finish. Now language gmius das. Avon is only to mekayim to fulfill the knowledge, the intention, and the knowledge of the seller. And he sees it, we see it the way he sees when he gets pleasure, as if that tangible thing, as if he has an action that is needed to do, which means it's enough. And what when a person gets money, or you have Mashiach, what does it do? It does Gmius das. It causes Gmius das. When he receives money, or a place where you need to receive a kli, that mekayim, the das and the kavana of the makim. Here pleasure bypasses. The pleasure, although it's spiritual, but it's enough to make Gmius das. So therefore, but I can't say I know it's shtar. I can't say I know it's Mashiach, because I know it's attached to value. I know it's definitely value. But under which value? Value but it's detangible value. Under which value, the detangible value I can put in the value kilo mamash, it's kesef. I can put it in mamash, it's clear, put what's needed. Because the whole idea is that the detangible I know in my mind is being translated as if mamash, as if it's tangible. As enough to be tangible to me to agree that it was nice. So it's tangible what? Whatever is needed in Hashibus of value. If it's Hashibus of value of money, it's money. Hashibus value of a kli, which is also money, not so important, but it's kli. Let's know it's kli and malachos, Hashibus of mammon. Not a shame on money, but a value of people. So it's a good to what I need the value. It's enough there to use that. So what do we have here? We have a very important history of Rambam and the Rabbeinu Chal Bereshpo. To find out more. There's many I know is different to find with Kesef. I know that comes from Kesef is definitely Kesef. But when I know that doesn't come from Kesef, comes spiritual know of kavod, of doing your will, right? I know intangible, I know the spiritual I know. How do I define it? I'm like it. Go to the Rambam, it's Kesef. He says it only works. Only said of Khalifi. I only heard about Kiddushin and Kahagav, it's Kesef. So I know it's Kesef, but the other two is like Shomikas. But the Arab says, no, I know it's not Kesef, not Shomikasef. I know it's just to make kind to Gmius das, and I can see that as if I had something tangible to make the Gmius das. I always need tangible in the world of Ano, Kesef, or Kli, to make the Gmius das. Ano is there to make the Gmius das, as if I have tangible. Kli is Mamash, which one not? Sometimes it can be Mamash, Kesef. It doesn't work, so Mamash, Kli. It's not understand what he says.
Sure.
Yes.
Not that, so then we should not make.
Aisha Ignes Bekesef. Kesef, very good. So that's what I said. I said it's definitely a knowledge in the world of value. Kesef, that's what is value. So even Kesef is value. But it can be, nobody would say I know is Shah. Nobody say I know, even Mamash is Mashiach. Is Kilo I know Mamoshis. So I know Mamoshis can be Kesef. I know yes. But in the world of Gmius das, my answer is like this. I've answered you. He doesn't say that I know does Gmius das. Then you have a kasha, if I know does Gmius das, I have a new kinyan. Kesef Shtar will be it. Gmius das, I know. You're not saying that. We say I know makes as if I see it mamash. I know detachable. I make it as a tangible. I might say kinyan that I need. Kesef. So I know I'm trying to kesef. I know of mamash of value. It could be value of kesef. It could be value of kli. That's value of malachah. But it cannot be shtar and meshicha because I know it's in the world of value. So therefore, since by kiddushin I need only those three things, kesef, I put in kesef. In metaldim I need Mashiach, cannot be Mashiach, I know it's not Mashiach, but I know it can be clear that it's value, so I make it as a mamash, as if I see mamash, but I know it's not a new kinyan. Yeah, I know, no, it's clear. It's as if kilo mamash. He says, Nires, I'm going to mamash. She's kayim that Allah. Which mamash that is miskayim, whatever's needed. But even whatever's needed cannot be out of the box, cannot be Mashiach and Shtar and beer. Cannot only can be in the world of Allah, which is all Kesef, the special meaning of Kesef, or Kli, which is value in Malach. kosher for the malach. Right? For a person that needs the needle, for him it's worth it. For you not. In the market now, but for me, I'm a chayat. I need it, if I need, it's like the Didi Shovali, the Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the Masech and Shvikas Gekes. So again, so what do we got? We have a Machloikes, when the Tez is Kesem, Shvikesem, Kesem Shtav Biyum, we have Shvikesem, Kesem. How do I define Ano? Go to the Ramban, it's like Shvikes. Ramban, I understand that's Rashi. That's why Rashi had to come out to tell me tangible, to a mice. His askoma to accept was a mice. So then he attached the ano to that mice. That if you're talking about ano, it's just to create Gemimus Das, and Gemimus Das sees it as it becomes mamash, according to what I need. So the Rambam is very good. When he enjoys, is ano for me, mamash, kekes. So right? And I don't need what was the cash? How can detail? Where's the mice? Always the question was, where's the mice? The answer is, I don't need a mice. I bypass him. Those people's das. And the people's das sees it, kilu mamash. I have a kilu kes in the daskicha. And in the world of Metata, it sees like as kilu chalifi of Ikli Shol and Malach. So I have here mice. Which mice are kes of chalifi? Only in the world of kinyonim of Shabbat. But I have the Gemimus das about no makes it shadol she'eno nire kinire mamash. Mitzad my das and kavona. Yes, that's right.
אבל האישה רוצה להתחתן אפילו עם מישהי צרה. לכולם...
אפילו עם מי?
עם צרה.
צרה, yes.
כולם, לא צריך עם איש חשוב. יש לה נאה להתחתן.
No.
לא צריך עם איש חשוב.
זה סתם שאלה, כן, שאלה צדדית.
לא, זה אותו דבר.
זה לא אותו דבר, זה לא אותו דבר.
איש חשוב, יש לו קניין בעצמו.
קודם כל, אני אומר, one second. My answer to you, the Rosh has a suffix. Who is that Adam Chashuv? It's only according to the Rambam and according to the Rashbo and the Rabbeinu Hanan. That since Ano is not Kesed, Ano is in the world of Gemimus Das that I value as Kesed. So the fact that I'm valuing him, to me it's values. I see like Kesed. To me it's enough to make Gemimus Das. That's what the Rosh says. So here the Rosh says, who's not Adam Chashuv? For her, that's her man. That's her man. That's what you want to give me for her. It's $1 million, right? Whatever it is, throw it back in her mind. But for her, he needs her man. She wants to rely on. So for her, who's not a Chosh? I want to do it. So that question is only in the world of Gemimus Das. There's enough for that coin that for him is on the Chosh. I have enough. Because that's to see as if I have a kid. She ain't only the Kindiga Mamash. That's good. But in the world of Rashi, you know, mindset, that question doesn't apply to her. Only a man is not looking to the Kamatonos, and now his askoma to receive becomes a mindset. The Tajara knows. You know, not all of Choshu is askoma, not so. The barometer is to check. Adam Choshu that doesn't accept Matonos, or Stam that accept Matonos. Sorry, Stam Adam Choshu that accepts Matonos, or Stam that Stam accept Matonos. Even doesn't the Adam Choshu going to Rashi is not accepting Matonos. In the act of agreeing, that's a mindset of the desire to that's the kiddush. So what a kasha, Adam Shana Choshu, who's not Adam Choshu, everything where it's only healed, me and Adam Choshu, that she doesn't need to give. That's only in the world of Anah, who's das. I can answer this question, right? But in the world of a mindset, they have to attach Anah to a mindset. It's not a shayla. When this Anah's worth is attached to a mindset, only to a person which is not accustomed to receive Anah, which his agreement is worth a put. A person that is not in that world, of course, it's important to her, doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean that she will pay a putta. It has to be only a person who pay a putta. That's the barama. She's not told you. That's what, which means Rashi bypasses this shayla of those. Yes, what do you want to say about
it? The must be related to money. With money. According to the Rashbo,
yes,
they're saying that we need like anoya. Right. Because the anoya kind of money and
Hashivus of money, Hashivus is value of it.
So who says that in English to have minus that and Isha?
Yes.
To be money or something that's very difficult. One thing is I accept to be married with you. When the rabbi says Well, that's
Very good.
that's
No, but it has to be attached.
yeah.
It has to be attached to money. Yes, yes, that's the only, we said, only in the world of value, even Khalid is value. Nobody would say that the Amar of Khosru is Shtab or Peter. Khalipin, Mashiach. I mean, only can be Khalipin or Kes. Okay. Akelekah, when we learn the story of Khalipin, we had to be showing that says Khalipin is the toll of Kes. Basically, right? Only in that world of Khalipin is a special dealing that can be a Kli, there's no word that's to be, or because the Hashibus are Kli or Hashibus Fruto.
So
But either way, and in the world of Hashibus of money, people value. It can be private value, it can be in general, it's worth a Fruto. But stop to say it's Mashiach, well, there's a communal styles, I attach it to a different kingdom, doesn't work. I need to attach it to a kingdom as a Mamash. I know it becomes Mamash. I know Mamashis, it's only to, I know of Kesef or I know Khalid.
So according to the Rashba, that means that is not have to be through the Netinya of the husband. According to Ramban,
Yes.
We need the Netinya of the husband in this.
Right, you need a Maise, you need a Maise.
According to the
No,
Rashba,
you don't need a Maise. You don't need, here's the Maise, it's not a Maise, it's a bypassing Maise. It runs directly to the Gemilus Das, and I see it as a Maise. It started with Gemilus Das, but she received the law, and she agreed to sell as if I see the it's Mamash. The Tachram says, that she transferred, she transfers enough people that it was a mice. Now that I have a mice that attached to the law, and the mice is the one that do it. That's the Rashi. Mice of Kappa or Reprieve, to where the water, that's what does. It's according to Rashi, it's in case of Malach. It's a mice that create some to between the man and the woman. According to the Rashba and the Rabbeinu Hanan and the Rambam, it's not that. It's the Amor that she received. Amor she received is enough to create Mimus Das as if she sees, she has virtual glasses, Apple, AI, and she sees that Allah for her is tangible. And tangible, whatever is needed. And in our technical world and modern world, where you can see that. No. Out there in the world of people and all those virtual monies, where you can see.
Rashba and Hananel, Ramban are looking at Gemilus Das.
He knows this, right?
Yeah. And
Very good.
Rashi.
That's what I want to explain myself. Yes, you're right. I want to explain this secret that somebody explained to me. It was a guy that gave me $50,000, and he promised me to give me $1.5 million already for 4 years. It was exactly after he gave me 50. He lost his money. I should have known how many he had. I told him $1 million there. He didn't give me. He lost all his money. He was money. I never gave him. But he is the one that one of the few Jews together that invented the first one, the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin.
okay.
And then the Interpol in the world, and the police went and they put all that group in arrest. They stopped billions of dollars of banks, because they claim it was a fraud and this and that. So all his money is being held in court cases for years. He's a rich guy, but in concept, virtual. And he told me what is the secret, and he wants to sign. Look, he says it's very important to us. I think this is the essence of the Ramban, the Rashba and Rabbeinu Hanan and Rambam. He says money doesn't start from physical. Money starts when people agree. He says in the whole world, and this idea was, let's put my idea to him back. His idea is let's put everyone's property around the world. From property, you can register your property in this virtual money. When you give an appraisal to your property, and you give it out virtual money. And you guarantee instead of banks in the virtual money. That's his idea. So I said, let's do now Mount Zion. Mount Zion is very important for Jewish people in the whole world. Let's take Mount Zion, register in the virtual money, and since everybody agreed that Mount Zion is important, once every 5-6 billion people in the world agree that Atzil has value. Talk about cemental. So it starts with people's value. People starts. You will agree that Bitcoin virtual money becomes mamash. That's exactly the idea. It's people agreement, and they got pleasure of idea Mount Zion. Here is pleasure. They agree that pleasure is mamash. It becomes like money. But according to the Ramban, it says opposite. Give me physical money. Give me a mice that you agree that you're not allowed to. You pay Dottor Roman, se a te piace tua mai, se a te ormai se deve fare money. Per quanto riguarda la Hanan, la Nagama, it's the opposite. The starts are opposite. It's not that she wants to marry this guy, but she needs people's thoughts. So she received. I know she sees that virtual letter as it punish. He gave her that no.
That toy. It's kind of that toy, it's his. That's.
I know why so people who I said, I know it's I said, they keep out talking, she received. They became a mash.
It's this guy who died toys.
I thought the market now, the market who's the market is the woman. Obviously. But there's a nice of giving. It's more once she sees it as mama, it becomes that he gave it on no, and she's mama. So he gave her my mama. But it starts from virtual to physical, not from physical to virtual. Like the crypto money, what the whole world? Those are the keys of the world. The whole world of crypto money is opposite. You start from agreement of people, and then you make it to physical. That's all I did here. People make hammer to put something tangible. It's just an agreement. It's just a reason to make an agreement. Because it's personal. But if the whole world will agree, let's keep it. Okay, once many people agree, like when sign, these numbers, people, they agree on what's the reason. See, because Balash, they value Balash. I'm talking about. So it's the whole idea. The whole invention of money and digital money, yes.
That the coin does not agree, so it's adoption. If the now, for example, if the bank make the adoption of that crypto,
Right, so then the same idea. But was they serious? Yes.
So the woman, she doesn't have to give money.
Yes.
She can say to the husband, "You want to marry me?" And he says, "Yes." Wow, I'm experienced enough. That's great. And that's my money. So
Yes.
she has to give the money.
Yes, so it's that's why right, that's the last to be able to cost you everything.
לא, הלכה כרבונה, הלכה כרבונה, לא
Yes, but אבל צריך לדעת חשוב, לא פייק. לא, הנה. You're right. So he was not kosher. So he was not kosher. But you're right. But I said, kosher. And she said, I can be in the front and she got to know to make it. And there's a agreement, yes. Right. And you don't know to be a subject. It's okay. Kelly, three people speak the same time.
למה פעמים אומרים שלא?
הנאה זה לא כלי.
הפעולה יש לו.
נו. Yes, דבר. Yes. Quando who? That puede ser Rabuna, so she said, it's what
No, because Rabuna is the one that said that Felipe this.
Okay, go to the mail and give, yes. So, yeah, I understand, yes. I understand what you're talking
He's asking that why should not Mekudesh with Kalipi?
about. We should be correct, because it's all the case.
No, afraid to the run here.
Because we have to learn the sugya, because it's shame to a woman, it's with a lot of sorrows. And you can buy, yes.
Or say as you want.
It's a good child, the question is, how almost feel now, because women is don't want it, shame for it. That's you have to look at this. That's not we didn't learn it. I didn't want to. Okay, so I'm going to say Musa. Yeah, what's it? Yes, if I want this question. So I want to spend more time on Sunday. There's to see more of the Rashbo inside the Rita. And we're going to see maybe Chidush of Shmuel, Shuta Rashbo. And then maybe towards the middle of the week, we're going to move to Chetzish. Just to finish up, then we'll do Chetzish. The main sugi the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I want to do Chetzish. First the Kiddush in the court, that's all. Okay. We just have to finish. It was a side sugi in the middle. It was really a continuation of the first, before, that I felt is very vital and important to her. Okay, the Siyata Dishmai. Musos. With the help of Hashem. I want to talk about a Gemara in Masechet Ksubis, very famous Gemara that most Jews that are religious know this Gemara, but they don't know this Ben Yoyado. I want to explain this Ben Yoyado and how it's relevant to us. To talk a little bit more about it, which I had discussion with Talmidei Chachomim. So I'll ask this question, and some other big Talmidei Chachomim would answer me. It's about, I always had a problem in my mind. I got married. I learned Torah before I got married to my wife. Baruch Hashem. Get married, let's say 24 to almost 25. My wife was very young. I said, why she would share? That was the first thing in my mind. Now, actually, not why. I feel it's not fair. She would share all the learning Torah that I learned from 14 years old, like in Michigan, day and night, 12 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours a day. It was a massive guy, Baruch Hashem. And she would share that pleasure and that spiritual avoidance Hashem that I did for 10 years on my roadside. She would share. And Bichlal, I'm learning nothing but because I love to learn. I'm trying to pull her to agree to the Talmud Chacham. She learned. She's a young girl. She doesn't really understand what's Torah really about, its value. I said she'll go off to it. And she's just missing time. She'll get to it. She's been trained to get to it. She wants in general. This and that, but she knows that really that's what I want. She would want it. That's really what I want. And she'll grow into it. But it's me growing her. Where's me sharing with her? Where's the idea? I couldn't figure it out. Time's passed by.
Why should she?
She would share. Not first of all, does she share what I learned before? That's question number one. Number two, if you have a relationship, you live the she became religious, she's not. You made her religious. She made it to agree to it. It's you, her. You doing her, not she doing you. She's not a partner, really, not an equal partner. She will get any or according to a partnership, not more. That's really the question. Until I found a Ben Yoyado. I want to explain what he says. I said what I said when I met Kapsol out there and I talked to him and learning. It was printed in his books. My discussion with him. He brought it to the yeshiva a couple of weeks ago. What? Nothing to do with. I'm not talking about that it takes from you. That's another machlokes. It's Chaim said doesn't take away. But some poskim said it does take. Most poskim no, but some poskim but some poskim learn that it takes away from you. From your share. When your wife shares with your lama, but she takes away from you. A lot of these showing even Achoin says no, it doesn't take away from you. It's like a candle. One candle for one, 100 candles doesn't take away. But somebody showing takes away from you. So that's basically my question. And even a coin that doesn't take away from you, the shayla she deserves or not. That was a shayla S. So I answered Reb Shol Alter. I said yes. I answered the question, and he thinking about it. And I said my understanding is yes, because without your wife marrying you, your Torah will dissipate, run away, go away. You're the theory that one of her will be destroyed. You're not going to do it. So she's a full suitor. Not only are you married, even before. Otherwise, all your Torah would be gone away like an old people and not married. The theory. When you get married, so then they hold you up. You're not allowed to learn Kabbalah if you're not married. Talk about mitzvah the tahara. I'm saying not only mitzvah the tahara, mitzvah the personality. When you have a woman that beats you up every day to correct you, talk about it in a good way. Gives you a musa. That's a job of a woman to give you a musa. She corrects you, so you become more than masholim. When you learn with yourself, and you have chaveri that may give you musa, but not like a wife. A wife sees through you, and she remembers everything, and she's there to fix you up. What? She tells you Azira Shamayim, and she tells you all about it. And she has what my father says. She pulls the boom, right? What's that? The boom of the ship, and it goes flies you away. She directs you right away. Everybody knows that. So one second. I want to say Musa. I want to explain what's the subject matter. Then I'll say my answer. So the mail my svara was that Baba, before you got married, belongs to her. And also while you're married, there's not equal partnership. But in the Torah, if you want to have this woman that physically assists you and gives you the mussar of midos, you wouldn't able to become more of a mashale, and therefore she's a partner. This is my answer to him. and he agreed to my answer. And he brought in this book, brought the questions and the answer. But sometime later, I learned the sugya of ksubis. The Gemara says there that Kalba Savua had a shepherd. That shepherd was Rabbi Akiva, and his daughter saw him that he's tzanua v'mal. So she married him. Oh gosh, for many years. Why she married the guy? Against her father's will. Tzanua v'mal, she can get Talmid Chacham. What's normal there? And what's normal without Torah? It's not really normal. What is it? Not only that, he disinherited her, so she's stupid. She can stay with her father's money and get Talmid Chacham. With money can buy. The Gemara says, "Kesef betayim mamzei, kesef yofa is mamzei."
Got some great pull.
Where is the great pull? And not only that, the Gemara says, Rachel bas Rachel, her daughter did the same thing. The daughter of Rabbi Akiva, Rachel, the wife of Rabbi Akiva, Rachel, she had a daughter named Rachel. And a different name. But Rachel, that Rachel had a daughter, and that daughter did the same thing. She got engaged to Rabbi Nazai, and she sent away to learn Torah. The same thing. She did the same thing, and he separated from her for many years. I mean, she believed in it. Wasn't it Diavad? And then actually Rabbi Akiva and his wife agreed to the daughter to do so. The big Tana came out of it, Ben Azai. The Midrash says that one time Ben Azai learned Torah in his yeshiva, and fire came down when they were learning Torah. So Rabbi Akiva, the father-in-law, sent a messenger to Ben Azai to tell him, what's going on? Why are you besmedesh? There's fire coming down from Shammai. And my besmedesh, we work hard ahead, and there's no fire in the Shammai. He said, if we learn Torah, the Torah will be smeichik and the sinosim esinan. I don't know what it means. One time I said it was Shavuos. I didn't mind to say what it means. But it will be smeichik, like the Sinai giving from Sinai, fire away by you, which means a format. That's to follow the formula. But that, which means, is the son-in-law, the daughter of Rabbi Akiva, succeeded to be more than her father. And that whole business deal. So it was right. It's a formula. The daughter goes against the father. She sees a guy, Tzanua Male. She goes, she's marrying him, and she loses all. What's going on? So the Ben Yoel explained that she really saw two qualities by him. Tzanua, Latznuim Chochma. The wisdom can only rest by Tzanua and his midos. Number two, Malis, he learns Malis means Yerushalayim. Was it a person of real Yerushalayim? This explains that he had Yerushalayim. Why he ate Talmid Chachamim? Because he thought the nose is above him. He didn't know what the reasoning behind it. But it was a Tzanua and Malis. But the Ben Yoda explains one thing, and there he says a very big yesoid in the relation of a husband and wife, and Rabbi Akiva's wife, what she thought. Very important. He says like this. She understood that when a person gets married to a woman, she receives equally all his Torah or whatever he learned his whole life. But the Ben Yoda says Shaloi min adinos. She's a partner, but she's not necessarily equal partner. But because she's a partner, she's sustained him with his physical desires. Shammai, then the other side things. Although she's not an equal partner, especially, I tell you, especially when a person gets married 30 years old, 25, 30 years old, and the wife is young, doesn't understand about it. So you're the main guy, you're building her up. So I said, where's the equal partner? You think to yourself, that's a common thing. The answer is no. She's a partner, although Shaloi min adin. Comes the Ben Yehuda, says, that was a svara of Rochel. Rochel, the Kal Sabua's daughter, she said, not tell my father. She got married secretly and she planned to send him to learn Torah. What happened was that before she was sent him to learn Torah, the father heard about it. It was right away, he threw her out of the house, and our plan didn't work. But then it explains the whole stories in between, that he had a child the first year with her, and he brings other midrashim that he went to learn in school on Aleph Beis, and he saw the water on the Krim and on the rock, and all those stories that we know. It was in between 1 year. And after he finished to learn how to read, learn Chumash, Then he went away for 12 years to learn by Rabbi Yoshua. He went away to Lud outside of Yerushalayim. He went to another city for 12 years and afterwards 24 years. But he said the svara of the daughter of Rabbi Yoshua was, he says, I don't want to be Shlomi Nadin Shutov. I don't want to be Shlomi Nadin a partner, which is because I give him side substance. And not only that, it brings out that he was an alman, he was married, he pointed out children from before marriage. He's 40 years old, already has children. She's 12, 14 years old, little young girl. And she's getting married, an alman with kids. What do you mean? The father should be crazy not to throw him out. Have to kick him and roll him out of the ground, right? What the hell? They're machine it. But she was a svara. A svara was, she says, I know that this guy is gonna make it big. And my partnership will meet me Nadim. My partnership is I gonna make it. So I'm gonna make it about you. I'm gonna make it. So I'll be Akiva. Why would it be the line of Akiva Super Shlomi Nadim? Be a shoot. He came this old man after 12 years and Rabbi Akiva standing outside of the door. He says, what do you mean? Look, your father threw you out of your house. The husband lived for 4 years. You're almana, live almana. You lost your life. You're crazy. Your whole idea of being stupid. Could it be? And marry sometimes we call him the rich. What do you did to yourself? You're poor. You can't have food. And they're like, you listen to me. We're about 12 years. So the Ben Yohanna says, oh, Samos and Yohanovi is the strength thing that Rabbi Akiva will understand that really that's the husband of his wife. So then he went back to another point of view, the husband of his wife. She made him. For 24 years, he comes to the city with 24,000 Talmidim. And I says, let me get dressed. I have to prepare myself to, then so all the girlfriends and neighbors come. Let's dress you. Let's put your headdress. You're there outside. He knows my soul, my neighbor's soul. She comes to him. She falls on the ground. She holds his legs. The guy might want to throw out. And Akiva shouts, and what he shouts, it's the Amkis of the Ben Yohanna. Shalim! Shalom! Shalom! She's not just a daughter. Child! She loves it. Shalim! Why she didn't get dressed? She knew. She said, your dad, Tzadik Nemes Ben, the Tzadik knows my Nemes Ben, you know that I created him. I created him. I'm not a partner, Shalom Minadin, I should wait in the end to meet him. Minadin! She fell on the ground, she kissed his legs. Akiva said, no. Mine are all yours, hers. The biggest one. So what I learned from this two things. Yes, a woman that she's not in line with you here and there, she'll still be a partner. Shalom Minadin. A lot of times, and most times, women are Minadin. Especially our wives, trained in Besiaka or trained by Rabbi Goldstein, Machon, whatever, those that got married properly with Yeshiva girls, etc. And that shurim, after they got married, newly married, maybe gave shurim and the koil shir, a monthly shir, and he reprogrammed the mind and the hearts of those women. She married women that not just Shalom Minadin Shutfis.
Greater than their husband.
They're great because we know what we do in Yeshiva. They know this. They gave their life for you to learn Torah. Shalim and Shalach and Shalahi. Very big Yisrael. So our musos of this. That's if you're not married, but it's not finding a wife. Find yourself to be loyal to such a wife. And if you work on yourself all those years to become a Talmid Chacham, and the woman will recognize in you. This is what I'm answer to this rabbi. She will recognize in you that's really what you want. She will do always because a woman wants to do what Hashem. A good woman, all women, my father said, good women. Go down the Jewish women, they want to do what really the husband wants. If you really want Torah, they will help you through the end to make the Talmid Chacham. But you have to really want. If it's a fake out, you don't care. But if you really care, they know it's important for you and you'll do it.
Again,
Yes. What he said?
He did not say go study Torah. He said, we're going to go and do my Tobi.
Okay, that's the answer to now. There's nothing changed. That's what I mean. I meant Midos is also Torah. That's why I said what before in the middle of the Shir and Musaf, by Musaf in between. Midos is also Torah. Like he is, Bishmul is, what he is leave me alone, follow the Torah. So where's the Midos? The Torah is Midos. All those books that teach you Midos Torah, so Psukim, it's not Stam, it's words. All Torah. Not part of the Torah is Midos and Torah. This is Torah. It's bind together. So she give us a bracha that Sheli v'Shalochem Shalohi, and really we be the right under our home and do Hashem's will from there. Yes.
What you say is true about actually being a partner.
Yes, doesn't matter. She's a partner.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, Hanania ben Akash showing it. רוצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לעם ישראל לפי גלים ופנים של הרב ובעצם תקרוא יגיל תוירו ויביל ולהתקלי שמי רבו יביל מרוסה היכולים והמכות וחלבו בייס ישראל מה קוראים? Say, Isado, Risaleli, Salom, and the Kuleshot,